Hello and welcome back to Danganronpa Lapse. On the last episode, we finally got Cannon's ability and confirmed there was only 10 of us in this building. Don't know how. Well, we've yet to be told the actual purpose of us being here, but it has seemed to be under the guise of the preservation project that was theorized. Besides that, there's only thing we can do is just go forward. Her photo captured the moment I had begun to turn around down the hall to avoid speaking to her. I thought you hadn't noticed me. This is... I know what you're thinking. It's a horrible picture of you. I know it is, because it's not a picture of you per se. Confused, I stare at the photo longer. I'm not a portrait photographer. I specialize in composition form called Rückenflüge, which translates to literally to back figure in German. So you specialize in taking pictures of people's backs. I didn't expect you to understand. I listlessly handed the photo back to her. That's interesting. Cannon silently took the photo and stuck it in her pocket before occupying herself with the camera once more. But I admit it, I didn't make an attempt to sound enthused. In truth, I wasn't. Cannon did have an ultimate talent after all. If that was the case, what was I doing here? My heart and mind was racing. Am I just an anomaly? Was this all a mistake? Did I accidentally take a spot an actual ultimate student was meant to take? No way. My voice croaked in desperation. I quite like that CG. This lavish mansion was meant to protect ultimate students. Those students, their wide-reaching, influential talents, or skills. Those students who were dexterous matters of their craft. Those students whose charismatic aura reassured my averageness. I still don't think ultimate charisma is a talent. Those students who created nostalgia-inducing delights. Those students who won races upon races with pure skill. A repulsion rose in my stomach. I felt my breath shorten, my chest tighten. Suddenly I felt weak. What's wrong with you? You're shaking. I barely heard Cannon. I leapt to the front door. I needed to evacuate myself from the overbearing presence of the people who accomplished near impossible feats at such a young age. I was just an insignificant bug who wandered into a lion's den. I can't compete. Well, why is it a matter of competing? I don't belong here. I grasped the door handle and so tightly I saw my knuckles turn white. But soon... And we're dead. Game over. I only saw black. I wearily opened my eyes. I was in bed, back in my personal room. Or so I thought. Oh. Hello. Forte was reclining in a love seat at the corner of the room, combing over what looked like sheet of music. I was in Forte's room. You're awake. Hi, Forte. Thanks for keeping an eye on me. He set the leaflet down before approaching me with an offering of water. I graciously accepted the cup and gathered my thoughts. My right hand was tingling. After gaining my composure, I managed to croak out a question. Forte, what happened to me? Curious. That's what I would like to know. Huh? What do you mean? Well, after the welcome announcement, I inspected the jazz club, but was quickly uninterested in the venue. I went downstairs to retreat to my personal quarters for the afternoon, but was promptly stopped at the foot of the stairs by Cannon. She said you were collapsed at the foot of the foyer's front door. Cannon told me to keep an eye on you and quickly left. So, it was from the door, correct? Because that's why our hand's tingling. It wasn't Cannon stabbing us in the back with a taser. I scoffed. How considerate of her to leave someone else, someone else take care of me. But why you collapsed, she did not say. It came back to me. I wasn't behaving behaving clearly. Yeah, I remember now. I was talking to Cannon in the foyer, but I felt a need to escape, and I was electrocuted when I grabbed the foyer door handle. Electrocuted? Forte was appalled. I, on the other hand, felt nothing. The nerve endings are dead. I took another sip of water as I closed my eyes. I felt wildly fatigued. Well, yeah, you were just electrocuted. Forte looked at me with a concerned silence for a minute. Echo, it might not be my place to say, but you shouldn't feel a need to escape. We're all being genuinely treated with a safe location to relax in, away from danger. But you're all talented. No, you don't understand. I don't have an ultimate talent like the rest of you. My head dropped in shame, regret, and humiliation. I don't have any skill or talents to offer the world. He fell silent again. Be that as it may, you still are a peer who shouldn't feel outcast from the rest of the group. You must be with us for a reason. I gazed into the water cup blankly. Thank you, Forte, for trying. I appreciate it. Come. The rest of the group is in the dining hall. I believe they are just starting to dinner. I mean, that's a perfect time to wake up. I'm assuming we would be starving. Forte placed a firm hand on my shoulder before offering me his hand to help me out of bed. I complied, quietly. Okay. The dining hall was fully occupied with our small class. Hey, there you are. Art waved at me from the end of the table as I entered the dining hall, causing everyone's heads to turn. Ashley and Pandora quickly ran to my side. What happened to you? Are you okay? Folks, please, allow Echo to have a seat before bombarding any questions. The rest of the class paused their dinner as Forte helped me to an open seat by Ashley. Cannon wasn't at the table, rather she was standing next to the entryway. She must have noticed me looking at her and turned away once more. Before I could comfort her about what happened in the foyer, Missy placed a pork cutlet meal before me. Ashley wouldn't stop fretting in concerns to your well-being, so I took the liberty of getting a meal ready for you whenever you decide to come down. Thank you, Missy. That's very kind of you. I guess, yeah, it makes sense that Pandora's not the one making food because that's specifically bakery and pastries and stuff. This is just what I needed. How did you know? I didn't. Perhaps I was just lucky. Missy shrugged indifferently, but I saw her mouth smile turn a small grin. She seemed satisfied with having pleased me. I can't tell if that's just my monitor or if she has... It looks like she's starved by her cheek. Just by the end of her hair. But yeah. I don't know if it's just me seeing things. I gave her a small back and helped myself to a small portion to regain my energy. Our little community had dinner together. Conversation lightly touched on everyone's mutual awareness of the preservation project. It was a project in which ultimate students who signed up would be placed under a protective custody to preserve their skills to benefit the future. Similar stories of talent discovery arose. Certain students grew in the environment where where all they knew was the particular skill. Yet they still rose to super excel beyond the wildest expectations. I, of course, had no place in the dialogue. I paid no specific attention to the chatter, my mind going blank with the white noise whenever the topic of ultimate talents came up. Did you apply on your own? Like, regardless? Because apparently it's like the students signed up. Did you hear about it and go, you know what, I'll join in too? Because that would just imply that there's memory shenanigans going on, such as how we don't know how we got here. So it could be implied we got here, we just came here when we shouldn't have. As we all finished our meals, Missy and Cyrus offered to pick up the dishes as everyone else restlessly waited to hear what happened to me. Echo, you have no idea how worried I was. Not worried enough to barge into Forte's room. Ashley was holding my hand tightly. Ash, if you're feeling up to it, would you mind talking about what happened? I glanced over at Cannon next to the entryway. Her face was an iron mask. Oh, well, I was feeling tired from running around the mansion and exploring, so after the welcoming announcement in the second floor atrium, because we naturally need to say something that we were all there. You could have just said after the welcome announcement, I went back to the foyer. Oh, well, I went back to the personal room for the nap. Because, like, that's what I'm saying, like, why would you need to specify to the 9 other people who were present? I left the announcement in this location to go to this location. I don't know if I can even finish that sentence, but going down the foyer, I was curious about the front door. I wanted to go outside, so naturally I grabbed the handle, but was electrocuted by it. Forte found me collapsed and carried me back to his room to rest. We know Cannon's gonna keep that secret, but is Forte gonna keep the secret? You were electrocuted by the door handle? Perhaps we should investigate. Yeah, I'll do it again. This time I'll touch my other hand. What? And get electrocute ourselves? Or get electrocuted ourselves? Of course not. I simply want to inspect the door handle for anything suspicious mechanisms. Well, how do we know it's not inside the door handle itself? We should also check the floor maps again to see if there are any other similarly rigged exits. Similarly rigged exits. And what would this accomplish? It would ensure our safety so that nothing like this happens again. True, we are here to be safe, so why is the door electrified? But our safety as ultimate students in the Preservation Project's safe house has already been compromised by the existence of such a trap. Yep. The group fell silent. Cyrus was right. It seemed as if we had already fallen into some kind of trap the moment we woke. So we're just going to do nothing? No. I think the idea is, with Missy, is to recheck what the mechanism is, that we can identify any other issues, and yeah. Cannon's indifferent voice broke the silence. Cannon's right. We shouldn't sit by after our friend Echo was put in danger. We ought to investigate, if not as an insurance measure, but to get to the bottom of the trap that caused such harm. The group agreed and went to their separate ways to search for clues. But before anyone could get very far, an announcement rang in. Ding dong, ding dong. It is now 9 p.m. Nighttime will begin at 10 p.m. Facilities will be closed until 7 a.m. the next morning. Even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. It seems like we'll just have to suspend the investigation until tomorrow. There's no use in wandering about aimlessly in the dark. Well, the facilities will be closed, but it doesn't mean the lights will be turned off. I suggest you all rest up. I realize the situation is dire, but please do your best to save your energy for tomorrow. Sounds like a plan. We shall meet here tomorrow morning for breakfast and discussion. Yeah, some first day, huh? I mean, you met 9 other people and one of them was electrocuted. Are you really saying that's not interesting to you, Art? One by one, everyone filtered out the dining hall. Low concerned murmurs filling the corridors. Ashley stopped me back in the dining hall as the last few left. Look, Echo. I'm sorry if you felt hurt that I didn't tell you about my talent. I mean, I can understand being hurt by it, but I don't think anyone, including Echo, would be hurt by it enough to run away from the building, which obviously then went in towards the trap. Huh? How did you know? I'm your best friend, aren't I? I can tell when you're distraught. I think you're more distraught by the fact you were electrocuted, but okay. It was that special welcome announcement I noticed you were off, and you didn't say anything. Or maybe you did, and I just don't remember. It must have been difficult, feeling like you don't belong. I admit, it's been awfully overwhelming. I never meant to keep it from you, I feel like being involved with me could only ever cause trouble. I mean, true, that is currently what has happened, and what is happening. Not the horse racing aspect, but the ultimate student status aspect. To get tied up with such intense people could only amount to the ultimate levels of trouble. Ash, you know I'm not your friend through, but sorry, you know I am your friend through and through. Don't mind me. I'm ending friendships left and right. I don't think being friends with Ashley Westbridge, horse girl, is any trouble at all. But what about Ashley Westbridge, the ultimate jockey? Is that any trouble? Ashley giggled. Yeah, I love you, Echo. You're a really good friend. Damn, friend zoned. Sucks to be you, Echo. Love you too. But as a friend, right? He's a little brother towards Ashley. Both figuratively and statually. I don't know. Because it can't be literally, because obviously they're not siblings. We made our way back to the living quarters hall and said our goodnights. Before entering the room, I saw Art and Lyle lingering in the halls. What are you two doing? Hey, you two, is something wrong? We having a boys' night? Having a party? We not adding Cyrus and Forte? Nope, in fact, we're having a strategy meeting. Nice. Let's do it. What's the plan? A strategy meeting? Art asked me if perhaps we... what if being a locked-in or mentioned situation is a big puzzle? It would be like an escape room. Think about it, escape rooms exist. So maybe this mention is just one giant escape room. True, but this means it would be specifically made for Lyle, and everyone else here is just a piece of the puzzle. I admit it's not impossible, and it does sound interesting. Right? I mean, a mansion-sized escape room. Who would not find that fun? So, what do you think? I'm not sure yet. I have a feeling it's some kind of convoluted ARG scheme. ARG? Augmented reality gaming. Alternate reality gaming. Damn. One word off. It's a type of game that is interacted with through different media experiences, whether it be online or real life. This being the real life. Tasks range from decrypting audio logs on a website to doing something odd like cleaning up local cemeteries. Okay. That definitely seems like odd. I see. Given those examples, it's plausible that diffuse an electrocuting door could be added to that list of tasks, right? I mean, they're not usually dangerous, are they? Well, they're typically employed to the public to boost attention for a product. What the product is in our scenario, I'm not certain. It'd be you guys, right? The ultimate students. And if this is an ARG, there must be a puppet master that's setting these things up, much like an escape room's game master. An escape room and an ARG sound pretty similar in terms of involvement in puzzle solving. I suppose they're not entirely different entities. Wow, you got it all figured out already. Well, not true, because we already asked if this is an escape room / ARG, and he said he wasn't sure. Puzzles are my strong suit. Clearly not talking to opera singers, though. I say goodnight and left Art and Lyle to conclude their strategy meeting, as I return to my personal room. Who's in here? Who's waiting for us? I felt the mental and physical exhaustion hit me all at once, and I let myself collapse into the bed. To think I'd be stuck in a luxury mansion with super talented students. My life before this moment had hardly been as eventful as this single day. I lived a rather average life, with as little trouble as one could hope for. It was almost a utopian, in a sense. I never thought it boring or repetitive. It was like my mundane life caused me to be a little more worrisome than any other person. Likely as a will to keep everything the same going forward. However, the strange situation threw me in a state of disarray. I was wholly out of my element. All above, I couldn't help but feel guilty for making Ashley worry. Whatever it is I found in myself, or whatever I found myself in, I clearly didn't have a place. I sighed heavily. I should get some proper rest. I mean, are we able to sleep, considering we've just been sleeping from, well, forcefully put to sleep, but still sleeping nonetheless? The room was mysteriously fixed with a few sets of my clothing in the closet of the personal bathroom. I mean, clearly it's not a mistake if they have got our clothing in the area they've provided for us. This was clearly intentional. Anyway, I let my body relax under the repetitious, I can read. It's repetitious. Repetitious rhythm of a warm shower. Crawling under the weighty covers, I turned down the lights and let my eyes slowly drift close. Tomorrow, what were we going to discover? The moon! Ooh, what's in the middle? Ring, ring, ring. Who's there? I opened my eyes to the sound of an alarm. It's not a phone. Well, it might be the phone. In my personal room, I sat up from the bed and took in the surroundings. So, the events of yesterday weren't part of some kind of strange dream. My personal room, that I initially thought was luxurious and comfortable, now felt oppressive. It wasn't mine. It couldn't be, since the mansion we found ourselves in was filled with students. Yet, all things are here. I was reminded of my mediocrity and let my head fall back to the pillow. I don't want to see everyone. You just want to see one person. I grumbled and drew the covers over my head, uselessly trying to will away the shame of yesterday. Well, that lasted long. I heard Ashley's muffled voice through the door. Good morning, Echo. Just coming to check on you. Sorry, I'm dead. Don't come back. Oh, just give me a minute. I'll be right out. After getting properly dressed, I met Ashley outside my dorm in the living quarters hallway. Like, again, why? It's like the unnecessary the unnecessary descriptions of the locations of... I left my dorm that was attached to the dorm hallway through the door that was connecting both the dorm hallway and my dorm. It just seems a bit unnecessary. Though, on the flip side, maybe it's done because without it, the sentence may sound a bit dry, stark, and like empty. Good morning, Ash. We walked casually down to the hall, to the foyer. We're going to have breakfast with everybody. You sleep alright last night? No, the moon was staring at me. Yeah, I slept alright, all considering. I hope you're not feeling too down with the whole situation. Which situation? Being stuck with ultimate students, or being electrocuted? I'm still coming to terms with it, but I'm feeling a little bit better after getting rest. And besides, everyone has been really nice. For now. That's good to hear. You've always been good at bouncing back. In the foyer, we met with two of the students loitering outside the dining hall. Sorry, I'm not a morning person. That's fine. Neither am I, but I'm really curious about the door. The door seems scary. I mean, it's capable of doing harm. Good morning, Lyle. Good morning. Let's investigate to the best of our abilities, yeah? Nah. I felt like phoning it in. Yawn. Relatable. You seem better, Echo. Nothing a good night's rest can't take care of. Except the potential burn marks in our hand. True that. Yeah, morning. Nice of you to finally catch up. It's weird. I'd be having dinner right about now, but I'm waking up instead. You work through the night? Huh? What do you mean? One of my watches is set to my hometown, and it says it's 7:43 p.m. Sunday, 6th of December. So we have a date. Thank you, sir. That sounds useful. So I'm trying to think. Is this currently the 7th? Are we ahead or are we behind? I'm trying to do the numbers on that. Because it's just gone 9. No, it's just gone 7. Because that's when the announcement was, is that everything opens up back at 7. So 11 hours difference? It seemed, yeah, it's either that or it's exactly 12 hours. Okay, so it's exactly 12 hours then. That's a 12 hours difference from now. Oh, the J checks out. I was just thinking about the winter solstice that will be coming up in about 2 weeks or so. Assuming we're somewhere westward of size 8, today would be Saturday. Well, what if we're eastward? I guess we're all from different places. The time for certain people would be a little different. True. Because Pandora, from what I can take, is French. Who was it that said was Italian? Forte? I think so. Even so, all of our alarms were set to the same current time, so eventually we'll end up in a uniform schedule, right? Yeah, that works out. Checks out. Like recovering from jet lag. Bit unfortunate for those with larger time differences, though. I suppose, yeah. Winter. It's too cold. But the new year is fun. In the dining hall, the familiar warm aroma of fresh bread wafted through the room. My senses swathed in comfort. I think with that, we should start off breakfast next time. Hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully you'll see you in the next one. And with that, goodbye.